going on, guys? I'm here with Frankie Muse, NFL insider. You know, he knows all about the game. He's one of our elite analysts here at Waltham High. I'm just Ventura, by the way. This is our podcast on the NFL Draft 2016. A lot of depth in this draft. I'm really excited to talk about the top 10 draft picks here, a sleeper we have, a bust we have, and the Patriots. Yeah. All right, our hometown Patriots. All right, so let's start us off with let's just say hi to Frankie. How's it going, Frankie?
It's going good, Justin. How are you?
Doing great, all right? So let's just, start us off with the top 10, all right? So the Rams, they're not the St. Louis Rams anymore. They're the LA Rams. They didn't have the first overall pick. They trade up to get the first overall pick. They trade because probably they want to make a statement. They want to get an elite guy, someone that will lead them, all right, and make a huge change, make a splash in the city of Los Angeles.
Yep.
And they need to find someone that will have an immediate impact for the team. But who is that person going to be, Frankie Muse?
It's going to be Jared Goff out of University of California. The Rams have been a borderline playoff team for the last few years. They usually go 8-8, 9-7, 7-9. So, but they never had that one quarterback and that leader on that team that can really take them to the next level. Jared Goff is an ultimate outstanding player. He has led Pac-12 in many stats over his 2 years, many throwing yards, touchdowns, you name it, he probably has it. This kid can throw all over the field. He throws intermediate, he can throw deep, he can go short with not even the best wide receiving crew. He led a team full of young players to a very successful record. I think they end up going 9-4 or around that. They end up making a statement, even though analysts thought it was going to be a bad year for them. But yeah, Jared Goff is that pick that will really change their franchise and take them to the next level, which hopefully will be a Super Bowl for them down the road.
Definitely, I definitely can see that. Jared Goff is a great quarterback. He's elite, has immediate impact, quick throw, quick release.
Yep.
Definitely someone I can see him and Tavon Austin connecting a lot, and Tavon Austin becoming a serious wide receiver this year and for the years to come.
Yeah.
So the Philadelphia Eagles also trade up, all right? So a lot of trades going on right before this draft. I think more are going to happen tonight, So I'm really excited to see what's going to happen tonight and the next couple of nights. But back to the Philadelphia Eagles, we got Carson Wentz going there. Carson Wentz, another small school, but big name. What are your thoughts on Carson Wentz?
He's an outstanding winner. Carson Wentz, even though he played only 10 games this past year, he only played 23 games as a starter total. He's led his team to 2 FCS championships against great talent. Even though it's not the FBS level, it's still high-level football, and he's playing good competition that still has many players in the NFL. Wentz is a proven leader. He's led his team to many victories. Same as Jared Goff, he has a good release to the football. He can throw all over the field, and it's that quarterback that will make a statement right away. The Eagles might even hold him back a couple years, or a year or two, let Sam Bradford be the quarterback and have him develop.
Hey, wait one sec, though. Sam Bradford, there's reports that he wants to be traded, and he doesn't want to be, competing with Carson Wentz, a rookie. He wants to play, and he doesn't want that pressure of a rookie behind him or even in front of him. So, if Sam Bradford gets traded, Wentz might have to be ready to go right from day one. But if not, Bradford will have to step up. And right now, I'm kind of disappointed with Sam Bradford. I lost a little respect for him, hearing that, he's not that typical leader, he's not stepping up, and he's not going to take that role and accept it and do the best he can, Right now, he's being a wuss, really, and he's backing down from a challenge against a rookie, a solid Carson Wentz from North Dakota State. And I think Carson Wentz and Sam Bradford should be connecting right now, if they do draft him, they should become best friends, best buds. Wentz should always be learning from Sam Bradford, and Sam Bradford should be learning from Wentz. And right now, I feel like if they draft him and Bradford's on the team, it's going to be a little bit of a, it's going to be tough.
There's going to be that kind of difficulty between the two quarterbacks. If Sam Bradford wants out and he wants to be out, then the Eagles probably will they won't have a choice, but they can trade him. They can get a second, third round draft pick out of him.
He's got a high contract, though, too, so that's the scary thing. I don't know if they're going to be able to trade him.
Yep. Denver Broncos are always a team that is looking for a quarterback right now, but you never know. And if Sam Bradford decides to step it up and actually help out Carson and be good teammates with him, then I think it'll make a better story for them. I think he can be successful over a couple of years, and I think Carson can take his place and they'll both be successful years to come.
Hey, so if you hear Carson Wentz gets traded to the Denver Broncos, you heard that first from Frankie Muse, all right? So let's go to pick number 3, San Diego Chargers. Everyone sees the 1-2, you see the Goff, the Wentz, but then the next question is who's going number 3 with the San Diego Chargers? You have that pick?
The Chargers have been a team over the past couple of years that went into the season with high expectations but left with bad records. Philip Rivers is getting pounded the last couple of years. Hasn't anybody protecting him. They need a lineman that can really step up for him. I think that the only pick for them could be Larry Tunsil out of Ole Miss. He's a solid player, really good. Big body, quick feet, everything that a left tackle should have, he has. He can play right tackle. He can play all over the offensive line. He can be an impact player right away. He'll be able to keep Philip Rivers off the ground for a couple more times. And hopefully over this draft, the Chargers will draft him and a couple other linemen that will help Rivers be successful over the next couple of years.
There are reports, though, also that they are really interested in what's his name, DeForest Buckner. Okay,
Yep.
He's a big name too from Oregon, and they're really looking at their defense. The defense has been lacking as well.
Yep.
San Diego needs a lot of pieces right now. They're lacking. They have Melvin Gordon, a great draft pick, but they can't do anything with them if they don't have that line. So they need to pick a lineman. But wait a second, they don't have that defense either.
Yeah.
So they're thinking maybe what if they pick Joey Bosa out of Ohio State, and he's also a potential pick, but. There's just so many options, and it's going to be tough for the San Diego Chargers. And whatever pick they pick a defensive end, they got to pick that offensive tackle, that offensive lineman the following round, and they got to stack up on that offensive line.
The thing is, this year's draft is very deep in defensive linemen and defensive tackles. I can see the San Diego Chargers getting a real good piece in the second, third, fourth round.
They're going to have to rely on that second or third round pick, too.
They are going to have to rely on that, but I think Larry Tunsil is one of the best players in this draft, and they need to take him because there's not too many of these players out there right now.
Yeah.
There's only a few top linemen that are going to be in the draft with there's about 10, 15 top defense linemen. This is why they need to pick Larry Tunsil. This will help them over the years to come.
I like that pick. All right, so then you got the Dallas Cowboys, America's team at number 4. Who are they going with?
A lot of hype with the Dallas Cowboys. Do they want to go running back? Do they want to go defensive end with Joey Bosa? Tough question. I personally think they're going to go Ezekiel Elliott out of Ohio State. I think they should go Joey Bosa because they need that defensive end, especially with their 2 starting ones, one being suspended, one being hurt for the first part of the season.
Yeah.
But Ezekiel Elliott is a monster. He is one of the best running backs in this class. He is the best running back in this class. Even though had a couple disappointing games last year, he led that Ohio State team to a couple of victories by himself. This kid, you can give him the ball anytime, any place. He's the guy you can hand to him on 1st and 10, 2nd and 5, 3rd and 2. He can be a guy out of the backfield who can catch passes. He's an all-around running back.
And behind that Dallas Cowboys line, you had DeMarco Murray. That just says something, all right?
Yeah.
You have DeMarco Murray, who goes for a career year, one of the best years ever, arguably, one of them.
Yep.
And he has a monster year, and then the next year goes to Philadelphia. Nothing.
Yep.
Goose egg, nothing. He does nothing. And that just says something about the Dallas Cowboys offensive line. If you have a solid running back that can run the ball the correct way, all right? And I think that could be Ezekiel Elliott. And if he's behind that line, watch out for Ezekiel Elliott. Pick him in your fantasy drafts too. But I'm telling you, if he is on the Dallas Cowboys, watch out, all right? He could have a monster year and a monster career.
You're right about Dallas Cowboys offensive line. Stacked from one side to the other. Their center Frederick, Animal, their guard Martin.
Yep.
They have a couple tackles that have really been playing good for them.
Yep.
They're just a really good offensive line.
I think either way they're going to go with the Ohio State Buccaneers. So whether it's Joey Bosa or Ezekiel Elliott, it's going to be one of the two. Then in number 5 you got the Jacksonville Jaguars. Who are they going to go with? They need a lot. They're kind of slacking right now.
Jaguars are kind of slacking, but they've been picking up in free agency. They've gotten some big name players. They missed out on the Olivier Vernon, which makes me believe that they're going to take Joey Bosa out of Ohio State. they've improved the defense immensely this offseason. They've picked up many players, including the Denver Broncos defensive tackle. They've added so many players this offseason, and this defense can get to the prime level if they can get a couple more pieces. I think Joey Bosa is one step of that.
Yep.
Yep.
I could definitely see that. I also like Jalen Ramsey, the cornerback out of Florida State.
Yes.
He is, I think if he is not an elite cornerback in this league within 3, 4, I'll give him 5 years, 5 years max. If he's not at the elite level, if he's not, the next Darrelle Revis, maybe not that big, but if he's not one of the top 5 cornerbacks in this league, he's a bust.
Yeah.
I think Jalen Ramsey is the next big cornerback, and if he goes to Jacksonville, I think that's a leader on the defensive side of the ball that they need right now. They got the youth on the offensive side. They have Blake Bortles, who had a great year this past year. Allen Robinson, exactly.
Yeah.
You got the wideouts, you got the quarterback, you have the offense already. Now you have to find a defensive player to step in and be ready to go. And I think that could be Jalen Ramsey.
My opinion, Jalen Ramsey is the best player in this draft.
He could be. It's him or Joey Bosa, one or the other. I think.
I think Jalen Ramsey is the best. He's the best talent. It's just the first few picks are what each team needed.
Yeah.
The Eagles, the Rams,
both quarterbacks.
the San Diego, they needed certain positions, so that's why they weren't going after this player. But yes, he could very well go to Jacksonville, but it's one of those picks that up in the air. No one knows about.
Yeah.
What the head coach was thinking. Yeah.
So at number 6, you have the Baltimore Ravens. They're rebuilding. The loss of Ray Lewis the past couple of years, and now they're trying to find someone on the defensive end, maybe the offensive line, because Joe Flacco's getting knocked around back there.
Yep.
They need a lot right now, all right? But who is the answer? Who are they going to go with at number 6? I mean, in my opinion, I think they're going to go with Ronnie Stanley, the offensive tackle out of Notre Dame, because I've just seen Joe Flacco get beat up game after game.
Yep.
And he can't take that beating if he's their franchise quarterback. So in my opinion, the offensive tackle out of Notre Dame, Ronnie Stanley, is that answer.
I like that pick right there, but I'm kind of surprised. I think Josh Doctson out of TCU is a statement pick by the Ravens this year. There have been talks around the league that Ravens are looking for a wide receiver. He might not be rated as the number 1, considering you have LeDron Treadwell out of Ole Miss, but they think this kid's outstanding, and he could be a threat with Rashad Perriman coming back for the Ravens after injury-filled rookie year. They could start a dynamic duo for the Ravens, but they could easily as well pick Ronnie Stanley and really make that offensive line back to what it was a couple years ago.
It's a great pick right there by Frankie Muse. Let's just generalize the rest of the draft. I think some big names out there are Shaq Lawson out of Clemson. I think he's going to have an immediate impact from wherever he goes. I think he could go around 13, 14 with maybe the Raiders to help out Khalil Mack. That would be an extremely talented defense in Oakland if they ended up picking him. But I don't know if he's going to go to Oakland. Maybe later with Tennessee, who also needs a defensive end. I don't think Shaq Lawson has some serious upside, but right now he's got to figure it out.
Yeah.
What are some other names you have?
I have a few. I have obviously Jalen Ramsey's going to be going. I can't see him going past top 7. Absolutely I think he's the best player in this draft. There's Vernon Hargreaves out of Florida, second best corner, or it could be the first because Jalen Ramsey played both corner and safety, but Hargreaves is a great pick. I can see him going 10, 11, 12 range. You have Miles Jack, who had an injury-plagued year with his torn meniscus. I think he's the second best player in this draft if he was healthy. I can see him going to far down the list, maybe to teams like Tennessee, Miami, teams that just lost some of their key linebackers. Or
I think I'm really intrigued by Ezekiel Elliott right now. If he doesn't go to Dallas, all right? Say they do pick Joey Bosa, and then he begins to fall. Where is he going to go? I heard Miami's they need a running back, right? Lamar Miller's gone. So they're looking for a running back to help out Ryan Tannehill, so it's not just a passing offense they have down in Miami, right? So if they're starting, if he starts to fall a little bit, they might want to trade up. Maybe they're willing to trade one of their later round picks along with that
Yep.
13th pick for maybe the 7th pick. So they solidified that spot in Ezekiel Elliott because they need a running back. They need it bad.
Miami does need a running back, but I have a feeling that Elliott could go to the Giants at 10 if Hargraves or the other players don't go there. Elliott, there's like 3 or 4 teams that are in the running for Elliott, and obviously Dallas Cowboys have the first choice, but the Giants do pick before the Dolphins, and if they come to that situation, they might want to pull the trigger and get that outstanding running back. But if they don't, they can be looking for Jack Keichland out of Michigan State, because they do need offensive line work. Or they could be looking at DeForest Buckner out of Oregon Falls. He's a very lengthy, great player with a lot of upside.
Let's just talk about a couple of the other quarterbacks we have in this draft.
Yeah.
It is we have Paxton Lynch. What are your thoughts on the rest of the quarterback class?
I think the rest of the quarterback class is solid and has a lot of potential. There's a few of them out there. I think Paxton Lynch could easily. I think the Denver Broncos could, if they don't make a statement quarterback, I think if they think Lynch is going to go earlier, they might even trade up to be able to get Lynch.
Yep.
I think he's the future quarterback. He'll sit back for a year or two, look it over like Brock Osweiler did. I also like Connor Cook. He could go to the Broncos.
Yep.
I can also see him going to teams like further up, maybe like just different teams like that need a quarterback. Always an option is this could be a really weird pick, but Connor Cook going to the New York Giants with Eli Manning older.
Coming close to the end.
Arizona Cardinals could easily pick Connor Cook. Carson Palmer, two torn ACLs, is getting hurt, older.
Yeah. You see a lot of quarterbacks coming to that age, to that Peyton Manning stage where it's about to almost the end of their career, about to retire. Teams might have to gamble and say, you know what, let's have him sit behind our star quarterback in Carson Palmer for a year, have him learn from one of the best. I think, in my opinion, a quarterback that's flying under the radar right now is Christian Hackenberg, out of Penn State, because he was the top recruit coming out of high school. I think he lost a little confidence at Penn State, and I think that big stage got to him. If a coach can control him and get into his head and just tell him to play his game, then all of a sudden Christian Hackenberg is that former number one quarterback coming out of high school, and now he's a solid quarterback in the NFL. So if he's picked with the right coach, he has a lot of upside, I think, in my opinion.
This kid's unbelievable. He was a top high school recruit. I think it was 4 years ago, because he's been a 4-year starter at Penn State. Mm-hmm. His first season was very successful. He led Penn State to a bowl game.
Looking there, you think, all right, he's going to be the number one pick after this year, but then all of a sudden he crumbles a little bit, and then he starts to fall, and then maybe after his sophomore year, he's thinking, all right, I'm not the number one pick anymore. Maybe I should, try and solidify that number one pick, coming back one more year and try and regain his confidence. But he dug himself in a deeper hole, it seems like. He did
lose a lot of confidence. The coaching changes went from Bill O'Brien, who left. There's been a few others who have come and gone, and he hasn't really had that one coach who can sit down with him and talk to him. He also has had a lack of players around him. Yep. Penn State has added some bowl deductions and player scholarship deductions.
That scares some top recruits. And he doesn't have those top recruits like some of these other guys do. In Jared Goff and Cal, I think Penn State is losing a lot of their top recruits just because of the scholarship deduction.
I have one more quarterback on this list.
Let me hear it, Frankie.
Dak Prescott, and this kid.
All right.
This kid out of Mississippi State. No one's really been talking about him. He's rated probably 5th, 6th, 7th quarterback rank.
Later
rounds. I can see him like 3rd, 4th, 5th.
Yep.
But this kid's unbelievable. His athletic ability, but he also can throw the ball perfect. He has great release, great everything about him. So he could be one of those players to watch out for.
Absolutely. I see a lot of Cam Newton qualities in him, but I'm not saying Cam Newton. Let's take it easy. I'm not saying he's going to become the next Cam Newton, but he has a lot of Cam Newton qualities, and so I think that's some upside right there. So all right, coming to a close, I just want to hear a sleeper and a bust you have in this draft.
All right, so my sleeper, this could be, you can consider it a sleeper, but I think that Robert Nkemdiche out of Ole Miss.
Yeah.
He's a player that no one's really, people have been talking about for his off the field issues.
Right.
And people think he could be a bust, but this kid's outstanding talent. If a coach can sit down with him and get into his head that to work hard and always keep focus, he can be excellent. He had one of the best games ever played against Alabama. Recorded, I think, 3 or 4 sacks that game. Outstanding. No, everybody was talking about him. Then he fell off next week. He's a streaky player that inconsistent, but if they can keep that and turn it consistent, then they can really some team can really get a pick. I think it's going to the Buffalo Bills with him.
I like that pick. Right. So my sleeper, like I mentioned earlier, was Christian Hackenberg. I think he has major upside if he's given the right coach. My bust, though, also at the quarterback position, is, however, Paxton Lynch. I think honestly he's going to be drafted by the New York Jets. And if you're drafted by the New York Jets, there's issues.
Yep.
And that they have yet to find a franchise quarterback. And for some reason, the talent's always there, but they can never put the quarterback in the right position. And Paxton Lynch has upside, but if he is drafted by the New York Jets, which is a big if, but if he is, I think that it's just too much for him.
Yep.
It's a big stage. Everyone loves football when it comes to New York.
Yep.
And I think that Paxton Lynch, come out of Memphis, a smaller school also, but he doesn't have, the qualities like the Jared Goffs. And so I think that Paxton Lynch is in an awkward position right now. Maybe he goes mid first round. Maybe he falls a little bit. But if he goes to the New York Jets, who rumors have spread that the Jets are interested in him, if he goes there, he could become my bust.
Yep.
So, one last thing. We're from New England. We love the Pats. Who doesn't? Frankie Muse, we have no first round pick.
We don't.
But who do you see us getting and becoming a solid player for the New England Patriots?
I think it's going to be Booker out of Utah. I think it's Eric Booker.
Yeah.
This kid's an animal. People have been always talking about the Eddie Lacy's and the Ezekiel Elliott's and all those type of players, running backs. But this kid has outstanding talent. For Utah, he was one of the best Pac-12 runners. Led major categories all down the list. Was an outstanding starter for them. This kid is he's 6'1", 210, 220, but this kid can run through the hole. He can run laterally. He has wicked good speed. He's a 3-down player. He's one of the best 3-down players in this draft. People haven't been talking a lot about him, but if the Patriots grab this kid, I think he can be a dual threat to go along with James White, who can kind of develop from, along with Deion Lewis, and learn to run inside the hole from LeGarrette Blount, who just got re-signed. But that player could be an all-star, superstar in this league.
Yep. My pick for the New England Patriots, I just see them. I think they do need they need some defense, they need some linemen, but they also need a receiver, and in my opinion, at least, because I don't see them. They don't have a solid receiver right now. They have the Gronk, but there's too much pressure on Gronk, and then you got the Edelman. You need an outside receiver. I feel like you need a deep threat, and so I think that potentially it could be Michael Thomas out of Ohio State. A later round pick, another Buckeye, correct.
Yep.
But I'm big on my Buckeyes, all right? And I think right now, I think Michael Thomas could be the answer. He stands at 6'3", he weighs 212. Put a little more meat on him. He could be, a Demaryius Thomas, okay? So then now he's not the only Thomas in the NFL, all right?
Yeah.
But I think that the New England Patriots need a deep threat. They don't have that right now. And I think they need a taller guy, a bigger guy, a Demaryius Thomas-like player.
Yep.
And I could see that as Thomas out of Ohio State in the later rounds.
This kid's another incredible player out of Ohio State. He's been producing so many talented NFL stars. He made some huge catches this year, and so as last year with in the NCAA the championship in the Final Four.
Yep.
He made some big plays against Alabama in the first round. He made some big plays against in the second round against Oregon.
Yep.
He made plays all across the board, and this year kept it up and brought the stats up even more. He had a bunch of touchdowns. Is that he can be that threat in the red zone that can really be unstoppable. If you work with him a little bit on his route running and that kind of stuff, he can be a great talent in the NFL. Yeah, so he's gonna be a great pick.
And one last thing, Frankie. No Tom Brady for the first 4 games. What is your opinion of this suspension?
I think he should be free. I think they have no evidence not enough evidence on what he did. If he did it, we don't know. No, none of us fans know.
No.
None of the people that
None
don't
enough
like
proof.
him know. But I don't like the way Goodell ruled on it. I don't like the way where it was settled, especially being in a New
It's
York.
just dragging on, man. It's just
Especially,
dragging on.
especially being in a New York court with two of them.
Wow.
One of them being from Boston, two of them being from New York.
All right.
And that's kind of was pretty much those votes right there. So yeah.
Okay. All right. I mean, hey, if that's your opinion, I guess I could agree with that. Maybe. All right. I can see that. But they do have 4 easier games. Luckily, they have three of their first 4 games at home. So, and they got Jimmy G. Everyone loves Jimmy G.
Everybody loves Jimmy.
I see them possibly coming out of it 2-2, maybe even 3-1.
I do think they're gonna go 3-1. I do think that I'm not sure yet about the Cardinals, but they will beat the Miami Dolphins.
Wow, I see. That's my loss right there. I think they're going to beat the Cardinals. I don't know if they'll be able to beat the Dolphins. I don't know if he's going to be able to handle the pressure from Ndamukong Suh that game. I don't know. That's scary to me.
I think they're gonna beat the Bills and the Dolphins. If they can win those 2 division games, that's great
huge.
for us. Those are huge. Even if we go
Bills
2-2.
also a tough team.
Yeah,
right.
but I think the Texans are a team that we can handle. Our
for
defense is. No one talks about our defense. Our defense is very young, upcoming,
Yep.
last couple of years, and they can be a real top 5 defense this year. But the Cardinals game for me is kind of shaky. They can't win. I don't think they're gonna win. I think it's gonna be a close game, but I'm not sure if they're gonna win. But if they can
Your
pull
one
off,
loss is coming from Arizona.
Yep,
Okay, and then we're going 2-0. We're starting 2-0 in our division.
yep.
There you heard. There you have it, folks. Frankie Muse's prediction for the Patriots to start. And wait, just one more last thing. What is the Patriots' final record at the end of the season?
Patriots will go 12-4. They're gonna lose. They're gonna lose a couple. They can lose a couple. They can lose one. They can lose a division game to Miami in Miami. That's one of those things they're gonna do. They get to lose to the Jets one time,
Wow.
and they get to lose 2. I think they lose the Cardinals and one of the better teams out there
All right.
in the schedule.
All right. Thank you very much, Frankie Muse, for coming on the show.
No problem. Thank you, Justin.
There you have it. The 2016 Mock Draft Podcast. Thank you very much.